Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about what happens when a narcissist pushes an empath too far. What do you think happens when that narcissist pushes too far? What do you think that empath is going to do? Well, let's talk about it. Basically, the narcissist feels they could keep pushing the goalpost. You know, the empath has a lot of heart and they're always trying to make the relationship work. They're always trying to give chance after chance after chance to the narcissist because the empath, you know, they try to have heart for people, all right? They try to have heart for people. They give people multiple chances, but then it gets to a point where the empath just can't take it anymore, all right? Everybody has a breaking point, and so does an empath. So the empath is going to get to a point where they've given enough chances and nothing is changing, all right? They've made excuses for the narcissist and nothing has changed. So the empath realizes that they can't do it anymore, all right? They just absolutely can't do it anymore. So, or what happens is the empath starts to see through the narcissist. This happens too. Now, another thing I want to bring up that somebody made a comment about that is really, really crucial. Empaths can feel what somebody else is feeling about them. And this also happens too to an empath. They start to feel the narcissist's hatred towards them, okay? And it depresses the empath. It spirals them down. It makes them feel very low about themselves because they don't feel the love. They don't feel that this person cares about them. And they at first, they don't understand why. They feel like, well, I don't understand. I've really tried to love this person. I've tried to go out of my way for them, and yet they still hate me. And this is one of the most common questions I get. People ask, well, why does the narcissist hate me? I don't understand. Why does the narcissist hate the people that love them the most? Well, the narcissist, number one, doesn't want to get close to anybody, okay? So they'll push away people that try to love them, okay? Because if they were to get close to them, that would make them vulnerable, right? And if they become vulnerable, then they could get hurt. And a narcissist never, ever wants to get hurt. They just never want to get hurt. And even though they're dealing with an empathic type of person, they're dealing with an empath, they're still not going to trust you. They don't trust you from day one. Listen to me when I tell you, because I've studied these people inside out and I've seen it, all right, my whole life. They don't trust, all right? I saw a reel one time where people said, when the narcissist finds out that they're cheating, that's when the narcissist stops trusting you. No, the narcissist didn't trust you from day one. That's one of the reasons they do cheat on you, okay? It's because they feel that you're doing the same thing or you are going to do the same thing. So here's the bottom line. When that happens, when an empath starts to, when an empath starts to feel like they've exalted everything they could to try to make the relationship work, they give up. All right? They give up. And what is that empath going to do? They're going to withdraw. This is what initially happens. The empath is going to withdraw. They're no longer going to start fighting with that narcissist because they're tired of it. They're tired of fighting and getting nowhere. All right? So the empath is going to withdraw and they're going to stop fighting with the narcissist. What does that do? That signals to the narcissist that the empath is on to them, okay? The minute that you start to withdraw from the narcissist, you're no longer, going back and forth with them. They're gaslighting you and you're letting them gaslight and you just don't care because you know that you're never going to get the truth out of them. That's when the narcissist realizes you know what they are, okay? Because you're not fighting with them anymore. You're becoming more silent. This is what happens. You become more silent in order to survive because you're tired of the fighting, of the upheaval. So you figure, you know what? I'm just going to stay silent. And this is how narcissists silence you, okay? They beat you down with the constant word salad, the constant arguing, to a point where you become a mute, all right? And I got that way too. When I was dealing with narcissists, this is what happened. I got to a point where I was like, you know what? They're not even worth saying anything back to. This is not going to get me anywhere, okay? Let me just shut my mouth so I can have my peace, because this person will never own that they're wrong. So, this is what happens. Narcissists stop fighting, stop trying to get the truth out of the narcissist, and they withdraw. Empaths will withdraw, and the narcissist recognize this, all right? So now the narcissist is going to panic, all right? When an empath is pushed too far, an empath is going to withdraw. And the narcissist is going to panic because now they're worried that the empath is seeing through them. And what does that mean? That means game over, okay? Game over. They no longer have control over the empath's feelings because the empath is not playing into it anymore. They're withdrawing from it. They've had enough, all right? And so what is the narcissist going to do? What do you think the narcissist does? Well, the narcissist is going to make a last attempt of love bombing the empath. And why do they do that? To try to draw them back in. This is what the narcissist wants to do. They want to draw that empath back in and, try to get control over them again. And in some cases, it works. In some cases, the narcissist, a very, clever manipulating narcissist, could, re-love bomb them, tell them, listen, I really love you. I don't know what's going on. Let's work this out. You're very quiet, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And some people fall for it. Some people fall for it and some don't. All right. When it doesn't work, when the love bombing doesn't work, when the narcissist, realizes that, hey, I can't manipulate this person at all. I'm trying to love bomb them. I'm telling them how much I love them, and they seem indifferent to me, okay? That's because the narcissist has been pushed too far, and the narcissist is no longer playing the game, okay? The empath is no longer playing the game. Sorry, you guys. It's tired. I'm tired right now, okay? So what happens is, when it doesn't work, the narcissist knows it's game over. All right? So they'll try to love bomb the empath to try to draw them back in. But what's another thing that nobody really talks about? They'll also guilt trip the empath for withdrawing. They'll say, oh, why are you so quiet? Oh, you're not trying, you're not working on the relationship, this and that. So the narcissist is going to try everything they can to get that empath to try to care again. But when it doesn't work, then the narcissist knows it's truly game over. And what the narcissist is going to do is they're going to get busy with other supply. They're going to disappear on the empath. They're going to ghost the empath. They're going to be on social media talking to other supply. They're going to be hoovering their exes. They're going to try to be gathering up all the supply they can because they know the relationship is over. Even though it's not officially been said, they know the relationship is over, okay? Because the empath is no longer reacting to the narcissist. It's not working, okay? The narcissist is cooked, all right? It's no longer working. So what happens is the narcissist is going to be trying to line up as much supply as they can because they know that empath has one foot out the door. All right. So, but what a lot of narcissists do, and especially the covert narcissist, they hang in on the relationship. They don't end the relationship. They still stay in the relationship, but they're going to give that empath less and less and less and less energy to the point where the empath is going to have to discard the narcissist, okay? And this is what we call basically a reverse discard, where the narcissist puts nothing into the relationship, is cold, distant, aloof, all right? Makes the empath's life miserable. The other thing they could do is make your life miserable to the point where you can't take it anymore and you want them out. You want them the fuck out, okay? You've had it with that narcissist, all right? They've pushed you too far and you're just sick of their shit and you want them out, all right? And this is where the empath will get rid of the narcissist. Say, I had enough. I had enough of this. I can't do this anymore. And then what's that narcissist going to do? That narcissist is going to jump over to the other supply, which they already have lined up because they saw this was all about to spiral down and crash. All right. So when the narcissist leaves the relationship, they have somebody already. They don't just leave and start looking. They have somebody already. Okay. But the empath leaves, and what happens is the empath, may be depressed initially, maybe anxious, is trying to heal themselves from what they went through, okay? Because they gave their whole heart and soul into this person. That narcissist misled you. This is the crime of why it hurts so much. Because I had somebody come and ask on a comment, and she says, why does it hurt so much? I'm going to tell you why it hurts so much. Because that person misled you. They promised you. They made promises that they had no intention of keeping. They promised to stay with you. They promised, they said how much they love you. They care about you. They'll never leave you. Oh, you're not getting rid of me. You'll never get rid of me. They love to say that, okay? It's like the biggest joke. You ever hear a narcissist in the beginning during the love bombing stage? Oh, you'll never get rid of me. Oh, you're stuck with me now, okay? So they set up this false sense of security that the empath has, thinking that they're not going anywhere. They're a ride or die. I'll never leave you. You're my ride or die. You're my soulmate. And so when it gets to that point, when the narcissist pushes the empath too far, the empath withdraws and gets out of the relationship and may still have that cognitive dissonance about like, what the fuck just happened here? I thought this person really cared about me, and yet they were cold to me. All right. The empath feels the coldness of that narcissist. You're going to feel it. If you're an empathic type of person, you're going to feel the dismissal of that narcissist, okay? That's the best way to describe it. And especially like when you're dealing with a covert narcissist, they love to dismiss you, all right? They love to make you feel like nothing. They love to ignore you and give you silent treatments and make you feel you're less than and make you feel worthless. So the empath feels this, and the empath may feel, low about themselves initially, but guess what happens? Once that empath is educated on narcissism, and this may happen after they leave the narcissist, they start educating on narcissism and realizing like, hey, I was with a narcissist. That's when that empath's eyes start to open up. And it's like that saying goes, once they see, they don't never unsee. And then it all makes sense. It all makes sense. And then you realize, I'm not the one who's fucking crazy. I was dealing with a crazy narcissist. That's what's going on. I was dealing with somebody who gaslit me so much that I didn't even know what was truth anymore, okay? That's why I tell you guys, and listen to me good, okay? Gaslighting is the narcissist's number one weapon. They use it all the time. They constantly use it in the media, okay? So, if you know this gaslighting, you're going to be on to a narcissist. Believe me when I tell you, you're going to spot these narcissists. You're going to see right through their game. So the bottom line is the empath will start to wake up, start to give themselves time. See, the narcissist, when they break up from being with the narcissist, the empath is hurt initially, but then the empath gets stronger, okay? This is what happens, and it comes with time, and it comes with education. And any narcissistic abuse influencer who says, oh, this will heal you right away, or join my program, this will heal you right away, or blah, 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 blah. All right, there is no healing right away. It takes time. That's what it takes. It takes time to process it through your mind, what you went through, okay? And it takes education and understanding, and it takes time to digest things. It's like when we work with my son who's nonverbal autistic, okay? They use cognitive behavior therapy, right? And it doesn't just happen overnight to try to teach and the behaviors. All right. People think it happens overnight. And it's the same thing with you understanding and clearing out your mind from the brain fog. No, it's a process. Okay. And so what happens is you process it. And then once you process it, you come out of that brain fog, you come out of that cognitive dissonance where you were confused and you didn't know what was truth. Now it's all becoming clear to you because you're educating yourself. Knowledge is power. Listen to me when I tell you, knowledge is power. If you don't understand something, you research it. You look it up. You understand how things work in this world, okay? It makes you a brighter person. It makes you a stronger person. And it makes you a dangerous person to your foes, okay? Because they can't break you down. So you want to become as knowledgeable as possible. It's like when you go to court, you want to be prepared. You want to have your documents ready. You want to have your arguments listed. You want to be prepared. That makes you dangerous in court. Trust me when I tell you, because I've done it many a times. All right. So the point I'm trying to make is what happens with the empath is the empath crashes and then comes up. All right. This is what's going to happen. And the empath is taking time to heal themselves, whereas the dirty ass narcissist just jumps into another relationship and they don't even care that they lost the empath. Why? Because they never did care. They never cared. This is the truth. They never truly cared because they were never all in. The narcissist was never all in on the relationship, and that's why, and they were never all in with their feelings. So that's why people say, oh, how are they able to just discard me so coldly? Because they never got their feelings into it, all right? I remember when I was dating somebody, and one of my guy friends said to me, don't wear your heart on your sleeve, okay? He was like a tough dude. He was a good friend of mine from Newark, New Jersey. And he said to me, don't wear your heart on your sleeve. And he's also the one that gave me the heads up about the dirty snake I was dealing with. Okay. He was like, I'm telling you what this guy is. He's like, you got to kick him to the curb. He's dirty. Get rid of him. All right. I'm telling you, once that guy gets in, it's a wrap. And he really opened my eyes. So the bottom line is this. The empath will open their eyes up the more education they get. And the narcissist just goes in a circle. The narcissist jumps to the other supply. Then they're going to get tired and sick of them. All right. And then they're going to jump to another supply, or they're going to come back and try to hoover you. It's the same cycle over and over and over and over again with the narcissist. What do I always say, you guys, about the narcissist? They're chasing their tail. Never happy, never satisfied. But you, as the empath, have grown. Okay, you're going to grow out of this. Whereas the narcissists, they don't grow because they don't self-reflect. But you're going to grow because your pain will become your strength. And how do I know that? Because I have lived through that. I have lived through pain from trauma in families and also trauma in relationship. And I'm going to tell you, all that pain has made me into a warrior I never thought I could be, okay? A warrior I never thought I could be. So I know nobody wants to hear this, all right? But whatever pain you went through is going to make you stronger, because it's going to educate you, and you're never going to let that shit happen again. That's what's going to happen. You're never going to let that happen again. And you're going to have stronger boundaries, and you're not going to be so trusting in the future. And you're going to take your time with people and not take them for face value. That's what you're going to do, okay? You're going to be smart. You're going to be, you're going to move slowly, and you're not going to let your feelings rule you, because there are snakes and demons in this world that will hurt you. And that's one of the biggest realizations that people will have after dealing with a narcissist, that in this world, it's a spiritual warfare, you guys. There are people that could hurt you very, very badly. Okay, we are not all the same. There are evil spirits that walk amongst us that will try to break us down and break down God's children, break down the light that is in you, okay? The Holy Spirit, that light that is in you, they are going to try to break you down. And this is exactly what the devil wants to do. He wants to break down God's children. But not today, Satan, okay? Because we walk in faith and we believe. This is what we do. We believe. We put our trust in God. We don't put our trust in humankind. We put our trust in God. It's like I have people that come to me and they say to me, I'm alone. I'm so devastated. I'm so broken by the narcissist. And you know what I tell them? I tell them, you're not alone. God is with you. The minute that you're able to recognize that is the minute that you're going to have your strength, okay? Because God will never fail you the way humankind will fail you. That is what has gotten me through a lot of what I went through, the traumas of dealing with autism and being on my own with it. And believe me, you guys have no idea what I've gone through. That, and then dealing with narcissistic people that were around me that had no empathy for any of that. All right. It was hard, but God is what got me through. My faith is what got me through. All right. So understand this. And this is one of the reasons, you guys, I want a podcast about politics and governments, not just, government in the US, but government all around the world, to try to help you be able to discern the evil spirits that are amongst us. So, because this is exactly what governments try to do. They try to put people in a fog. And why do they do that? Because this is the way they're able to take power and control. All right. So I wanted to get into all that. I'm still conflicted as to whether to talk about narcissism in politics. I've had people say, no, don't do it. Don't go there. And then I've had other people say, yeah, I want to hear about it. Right. We'll see what comes about. All right. I have to still figure out whether I'm going to go that route. But to cap off this podcast, all right, you guys, the bottom line is when an empath is pushed too far, they are going to walk away from that narcissist. They're going to maybe be sad and lonely initially, but then they're going to get their strength back, and they're going to be stronger than ever. And that's why the empath gets stronger and the narcissist gets weaker, because the narcissist grip gets weaker. The narcissist no longer will have the strength over that, will have the hold or the grip over that empath anymore. And that's where the narcissist loses, because now they will no longer have access to that empath. They can no longer get their supply, and that empath is no longer going to have any more empathy for them. All right. They may forgive them, but they will forgive them without ever dealing with them again. Okay. Because I've had a lot of people that'll say, I forgive the narcissist, but the only reason I'm forgiving the narcissist is for my own healing. It doesn't mean I forgive them in the sense that I'll ever let them back in my life. All right. So that's how it goes, you guys. I hope that helps you. If it does, share the video. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, check out the link in the bio at askyaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed. I have limited time, limited availability. I also want to bring up the fact that there is a scammer on Facebook. They just never want to stop these people, okay? They're disgusting. And they keep going in the comments section. It's a fake profile of me. And then they say, you want a gift or something. That is not me, you guys. All right. Anybody that's on a profile that has my picture that says something like you want a gift or this is a gift from me. That is not me. That is a scammer. Do not go there. Do not click on any links or anything like that. All right. They're, all over Facebook, liking people's comments and stuff like that. So that's not me. If it's not my profile with the 218,000 people liking it, it's not me, okay? Just to make you aware, all right? Also, check out my YouTube at the Game Exposed Podcast. Check out Facebook and Instagram at the Game EXP123, and TikTok is the Game Exposed. And have a great day.